All right, everybody. Welcome to the Burn It Down NASCAR podcast, post New Hampshire edition. What did we think?
It was mediocre to me, to be honest. I thought it was all right, but it wasn't bad. But it reminded me that usually short tracks like that are usually more entertaining. So, obviously my expectations were higher for it. And there really wasn't much. Only one car could drive through the pack and they're up through the field, and that was Chase Elliott. Everybody else, if you were out in front, you were good.
Surprising.
Yeah.
As Chevy hasn't won a race, I think, since 2011 at New Hampshire.
Yeah, it's been pretty much Ford dominant and Toyota here.
Yeah, Ford and Toyota.
But Chase is the only one that could go in the back of the pack and work its way up. So they set his car up good for that. But look at Martin Truex. Yeah, I guess we'll get into it. But once he was out front, he was dominant. But then after the second stage pits, he got into the pack a bit and he couldn't catch back up. He was dominant.
He couldn't.
So he knew getting in the dirty air of what this car does with the diffuser and the belly pan, he couldn't race. He finished, I think, I don't want to say 10th, 11th.
Truex was fourth.
Fourth. Okay, sorry. So he worked his way back up. I think because of pit stops, people had to back out and go for pits. But other than that, he should have won. He was the best car when he was out front. But it's obviously going to be a topic, but I feel short tracks should not have a diffuser or belly pan. I'm sorry. It does not work.
I don't think they should have it anywhere.
Well, if they're going to try to push it, yeah, okay, but short tracks, it ruins the racing.
I agree. I don't. It was interesting to note that Ford and Toyota occupied 7 of the top 10 spots. Chevy had 3 in there, which would have been second with Chase Elliott, and Ross Chastain was 8th, and Suarez was 9th, which is a good follow-up to his win, being Suarez. He's coming alive. I don't know whether Chastain and Suarez, I shouldn't say that. I know they're sharing information. Now, is Suarez adapting better and utilizing or getting smarter, or I don't know, but it's interesting that there were only 3 Chevys in the top 10, so they continued their streak of not winning at New Hampshire. And we might as well go through it. We all know Christopher Bell. Congratulations. We've been saying him as well. It was only a matter of time.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time.
And then the top 10, you got Elliott, Bubba.
Yeah. The most surprising of the week. But like I said, if there was no passing, so pretty much where you were is where you were stuck. So when pit stop, made its rotations, it's not like he passed all the way up there. He qualified up there, good for him, but it wasn't much passing for him to lose that. So,
and the pit crew didn't take him out.
No, yes. Like I said, I'm not trying to take it away from him, but also there really wasn't racing to where it was hard to pass.
It was very hard. And then let's go back to Christopher Bell, which he's now got Bubba's pit crew. They didn't screw up for the first time in a very long time. So anyway, like we said, Christopher Bell won. 2nd through 10 was Elliott, Wallace, Truex, Harvick. Nice showing for him. Hamlin, Keselowski, Chastain, Suarez, and Kurt Busch. There's really nothing, in my opinion, to shout out other than Ryan Blaney, clear back in 18th.
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
Yeah, so was I.
Well, he had a wreck, something happened to his fender to where it kind of screwed him up, so he had to go down the pit stops a few times. So he kind of had an accident. That's why he was back there.
Yeah, and Logano back in 24th.
Oh yeah, I want to give a shout out to Brad again. He's getting consistently better, so I was happy with that finish for.
There's gonna be a little, like I said, discussion here coming up about some things, and Brad's involved in it. But that's your top 10 coming out of New Hampshire. I do agree with you that it wasn't the most exciting race of the year. In view of the news the last 48 hours, I wonder how long New Hampshire keeps 2 races. Because they're clearly shaking things up, which again is going to be another topic of news discussions when we get there. I like I said, there was really nothing outstanding about it. One other thing, there were in the, and this is major, in the Xfinity race, the 3rd place finisher and the 4th place finisher were disqualified.
Yeah, JJ Ellier and Noah Gregson.
Landon Castle and Noah Gregson. They went to 37th and 38th. Landon Castle, I guess, post race was too low in the rear, and Noah Gregson was too low in the front. I don't have much to say about that other than to point it out. You know how I am about these NASCAR penalties and how they assess them. I don't think they take much into consideration about race conditions and what happens to these cars, because they're so on the edge and everything's such a micro, I mean, right down to the 1/32 of an inch type crap. But I will say what caught my attention is this is the first time in my memory this year that they've literally taken places away and relegated them to the rear end. I don't, and I could stand corrected on that, but I don't think they've done that up until now.
I know it's part of the rules. I want to, it was last year Christopher Bell, he lost his because he passed under the yellow line and finished second, like at a race, and he lost his positioning, so he went to like the rear end of the line of the like the lead lap. But with penalties,
but post race penalties where they actually took, normally it's, a lot of dollars and suspensions. Again, I could stand corrected on this, but I believe this is, at least this year, this is the first time I've seen
I believe so.
Taken the place away and put them to the back. So, all right. I'm pretty much done with New Hampshire, unless you got anything else you want to add to it.
No, let me do my rundown before we go too far. If you're watching on the YouTube, I got a new overlay I worked on yesterday. I think it's
pretty cool, by the way.
I think it's more streamlined, more professional. Underneath the cameras, I have the chase finishes scrolling with the race, and on the right side, I have the cup standings as of the race. Above that, you can obviously see all the links are there, the topics are there. I also put the racetrack, what we're talking about, the current one, that's going to be there, so I'll swap that to Pocono whenever we get going, but it's just more information via the overlay on the YouTube version, but if you guys are listening to the audio side, we're on youtube.com. Just search Burn It Down Podcast and it'll show up. But we are on pretty much on every podcast audio platform, rss.com, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Samsung Podcasts, Pandora, and Google Podcasts. All you have to do is search Burn It Down Podcast and we're there. Just Google it, we'll pop up. So like I said, I just wanted the overlay to be more streamlined, more information for people who are actually watching. So it's all there. And then we can move on from there. I like the way it looks. I might tweak it from here and there, but this is what I was working on, I think, yesterday.
Okay. I'm trying to...
Want to go to the chase standings or the point standings?
Let's do the point standings. I'll let you do that because I'm not sure I got it up here correctly.
Well, we'll do the point standings and then I'll do the chase after that because it's pretty much only 2 guys. So it's Chase Elliott's number 1, Ross is 2, Blaney's 3rd, but with no wins. Truex is 4th, Larson is 5th, Kyle Busch is 6th, Joey Logano 7th, Christopher Bell 8th with his win, Kevin Harvick 9, but he is out because he doesn't have enough points, so technically by points he's in, but he's not. William Byron 10, Alex Bowman 11, Eric Almirola is 12th, Austin Cindric is 13th, Kurt Busch 14th, Suarez 15th, Tyler Reddick is 16th. Now, if we go to the chase, it's Chase Elliott, Chastain, Logano, Byron, Truex, Larson, Blaney, Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Kurt Busch, Chase Briscoe, Daniel Suarez, Alex Bowman, which he better get his head out of his ass because he's having a bad month. And then Austin Cindric, and then who are out right now is Kevin Harvick, Eric Almirola, and Eric Jones. But the only one, it's just they have to win pretty much because you're literally out over one whole race of points, even if you win and the next guy has finishes last. So you need the win from here on out to get in.
The only 2 that are in the top 16 that don't have a win is Blaney and Truex Jr.
Correct. Truex is 68 above the cut line, and Blaney's 105. So if someone gets a win, it's not them. If it's not them, and they're gonna get bumped.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's get to our predictions. I took Harvick as the winner. What's going on here? You took Blaney and Frank took Truex. Wasn't none of us right on that one. Dark horse was Keselowski for me, and you and Frank took Ty Dillon, and we win with the Keselowski thing. We, as far as Bubba finishing in the top 20, we all said no, and we were way wrong on that one.
Yeah.
And then Denny finishing in the top 20, we all said yes, and we were right on that. So
it was on.
There's Frank.
Mike's on.
We can hear you.
All right, what is my audio doing?
Just continue.
All right. All right, so we got that done with. And we've got, let me see here. Where was I going? We did the standings.
Pretty much that's it. There's nothing.
Yep, and
well, I guess you can do news of Austin Cindric.
Fantasy League.
Well, yeah,
I got my ass kicked again.
You better get going.
I was third. I had a 179, and I don't have it in front of me what the rest of us did, but I know you did win it.
Yep.
I had some bad picks on the 4 versus challenges. I didn't have a single Chevy in my lineup.
I had a lot of Chevys and Fords.
So
I had the same, yeah.
All right. Let's do the news.
Well, do you want to? It's news related to the race.
Go ahead. You got something?
Austin Cindric's crew chief and them got penalized, gone.
Oh, I did see that.
And people are mad.
He was the only one, wasn't
he? People are mad because Christopher Bell didn't do it, and it was pretty much the same thing. And their NASCAR is saying the only difference between it is Austin Cindric's tire went further down pit road than Christopher Bell's did. So there's But they're out 4 weeks. His crew, whatever, crew chief, tire changer, Jackman.
I don't agree with these penalties, but nobody's going to listen to me. The first thing I want to put up there, and it's out of pure respect, is Bobby East. He wasn't in the Cup Series or any of the top 3 series. He was big in the ARCA and the modifieds and all that. The poor guy was simply filling his gas tank and got gunned down.
Yep.
One of the reasons why he got so much attention, he is related to Jason Leffler, who was killed in 2013. And I remember watching Jason Leffler. He was trying to work his way up from, at the time, not Xfinity, but Busch Series into the sprint car. But he was killed in a sprint car race in New Jersey in 2013. Bobby East is married to Jason Leffler's sister, Allison.
Wow.
So this is 2 major tragedies for this family. And I just want to give a shout out and a heartfelt condolences, because nobody deserves this once, let alone twice.
Yeah, no, it's
And I mean, if you're the daughter being Allison, she's lost her brother and now she's lost her husband. Like I said, that sucks. And all the guy, I mean, Jason was lost in a wreck. I think it was at New Hampshire, but I could be wrong on that. But the guy was just filling up his gas tank and got shot.
Oh no, I thought he got stabbed.
Was it stabbed?
Yeah, I think it was stabbed.
Okay. Whatever.
Dead.
Some
fatal
jerk made him dead.
Correct.
And that's just not cool, dude. That's just, I don't care who you are.
They're my headphones.
Another big thing that stuck out to me this week, Kyle Busch admitted he is talking to other teams.
Yep.
And there's still no deal. And Joe Gibbs Racing has put out a statement that they are in contingency mode for the 18 car.
They're trying to find backup plans. So it's only inevitable. If they haven't had it by now and it's becoming like that, it's I think they're waiting for opportune time. I don't know if it's gonna to make the biggest splash, I guess, because Tony Stewart, if they go to Dodge, they're not gonna announce it now. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna announce it, almost the end of season type thing. If they're out of the chase, this is what we're doing for next year, and that's when I think they're gonna do. Okay, we're getting Kyle Busch to come over too. If that's what's happening, but that's just me.
And I do believe that's a little bit of why Kyle Busch is not saying anything, because he is actually going to be in the chase.
Yeah. That's why they're...
Well, maybe, which is another subject we'll cover here in just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I still say, and we'll see how Nostradamus I am, that Kyle Busch is going to go to Tony Stewart Racing or Stewart Haas. I think that it's not necessarily that particular end of the deal is done. It's getting Kyle Busch Motorsports in alignment with whatever's going to happen, and how much involvement. I think Kyle Busch is kind of looking at a Brad Keselowski type thing, where he becomes more involved in the management end of the company.
Why not?
I don't know, because he's got his own, he's got that truck team, and it spoke volumes to me this week when Kyle Busch said that, I am talking to other teams. What his words were, the short answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then JGR came out and said they are in contingency mode. I'm like, he's not coming back.
Yeah,
but that's
it's
okay. They've got Ty Gibbs and they've got
true. Trevor Bayne.
Trevor Bayne. They're cool. They're fine. I had wrote down that Keselowski, or I'm sorry, Austin Dillon had a bad day, but we already know that. It must have been important at the time, but we already know.
No,
He got into it with Keselowski, and then he got into it with Harvick.
I don't understand what Austin. I don't know if he was mad because Keselowski was, having a good day and he was racing good, and I don't know if Austin Dillon had a bad time, but it was under caution. He pretty much sideswiped Brad, and Brad swiped him back. And then at the in the post game or post interviews, he was all hot and pissed. Why? For what reason? No one knows what's happened. The crew chiefs didn't know what's happened. The race teams didn't know what's happened. Brad's like, I'm not going to be a dick on the air. I'll talk to him later. And Austin Dillon's like, I don't talk to him. I don't talk to that guy.
Yeah, we're not going to talk. I don't know what, and even on TV, they were trying to figure out why he was so irritated.
They had no idea. They couldn't find anything. And he's like, oh, I just don't like how people race me.
Okay, point to the exact example of why.
Yeah. Okay, if you don't like that, you wouldn't like Ryan Newman, because that fool raced everybody hard no matter what. He's not going to let you by, especially Brad. He's trying to prove himself right now because he's been shit all year.
I'd love to see Austin get into it with Chastain. That would be fun to watch. At least it would leave Denny alone.
I don't know. Austin just, I don't know, Dillon just, to me, that was rich boy, baby, silver spoon fed type anger, and he was mad.
Oh, and I got a TV show, by the way.
Yeah, and it just rubbed me the wrong way how he acted, and like Brad's like, I won't talk over the air, and I'll talk to him privately, and he's like, like, what? you're looking like a fucking dick,
Yeah. Well, if you watch that, and you didn't have much of a choice if you were doing pre or post race on USA, his new TV show, I'm like, you spoiled little.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think he's out of that car in 2024 anyways.
You think?
When Junior buys into that, he's not going to have him. He's going to have his own guys. I think Junior's going to buy RCR or be, primary. I think that's what I think. But
I can see that happening.
Well, he gets his legacy number 3 and 8. His dad's in his number, and Reddick's already out, and he wants and he already called Truex. So Truex already said he signed for one more year at Toyota or Gibbs.
I still think he's gonna. If that scenario happens, I think Noah Gregson's the other one that's going in.
But also Noah Gregson's rumored to be the 42 next year, since Ty Gibbs, Ty Dillon. Okay. Ty Dillon's out next year.
Right.
So there's a whole bunch of things. That's another thing. Ty Dillon lost his ride for next year. They already announced at Petty GMS.
Well, yeah, they did that a week or so ago. Okay. Let's preview.
Did Frank get his stuff going? Because I don't hear him.
It doesn't look like it, and I don't have my phone on me, so I don't know.
Okay.
I can see him, but that's about it.
I just continue.
Let's look at Pocono. Thank God they're not trying to do 2 races in 2 days there this year.
Yeah.
I filtered, and again, this is kind of the fantasy end of things. And I go with average finish over the last 10 races, and Kevin Harvick is number 1 with a 5.5. You got Kyle Busch with a 7.0, Hamlin, Byron, Keselowski. We're not even going to talk about Daniel Hemrick. He's only been there twice. Truex, Blaney, Larson, and Bowman. What I was surprised to see is Chase Elliott's in 13th, Logano is in 16th, and again, this is over the last 10 races at Pocono, And there was one other that stuck out to me. Maybe it was Bubba down in 23 to match his number. But this is another what looks like to me Ford Toyota track. And the only three
we haven't been there in this
Chevys-
new car, so
Yeah, I agree. I'm just, like I said, I'm glad they're not trying to do 2 races in one day or 2 days, and they're going to be done and out of there. So we'll get to the picks in just a little bit. Unless you have another news piece, there's something I wanted to cover.
There's a couple things came out today. Napa signed multi-year deal with Chase. There's another thing that I know it was a Cendric thing, but it wasn't crazy things. But like I said, it was just minor. Yeah, that was one thing that came. Napa's re-signed with multi-year deal with Chase.
All right. Now, this is going to be a topic of discussion. I posted a blog today at NASCAR-nation.com. I think NASCAR has a huge, and I mean huge, problem coming up. We've got 6 races left. We have 2 open positions in the playoffs. I feel the only ones, and there's 5 of them that are locked in, they have multiple wins. It's Chase Elliott, Chastain, Logano, Byron, and Hamlin, which the last 4 only have 2. You've got Larson, both the Bushes, Bell, Bowman, Cindric, Suarez,
Can you guys hear
Reddick.
me?
Yeah. Are you here?
He can't.
We can
hear,
hear you.
He can't hear us. Continue.
Okay. And Briscoe with 1 each. There's only 2 spots left, and there's 6 races left.
Yep.
You've got these folks that are normal winners and haven't won yet. You got Blaney, Harvick, Amarola, Dillon, being Austin, Buescher, Stenhouse, Keselowski, of course Wallace. He could pull one off, and don't ever count Michael McDowell out.
And Truex, you didn't say Truex either.
I forgot about him. You're right. I need to amend my blog. But anyway, my point is, what is NASCAR going to do if they have 17 to... They could potentially have 20 different winners.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to tell somebody with a win that they're not in?
Yeah, it'll be a tiebreaker by points, probably. Or stage playoff. It's
pissed off some people are going to be.
Well, before their motto, they were saying if you win and you're in. They even said that to Christopher Bell today. He's when he won, his crew chief went over and says, "Hey, welcome to the playoffs."
I'm telling you, they got a problem coming, and it's bad.
So, into my opinion, if they want to fix that, yeah, you win and you're in. All 20, or let's say 20 people win, 20 different ones. Okay, but after the first round, it cuts it down to 12, and they continue their 12-8.
That is absolutely my prediction. Is
Yeah.
that they will not have the balls to tell anybody with a win, after all their rhetoric about a win and you're in, that you're not in, and we're going to go on points for the last, 4 or 5 guys to figure out who that last spot goes to. I think the backlash will be insurmountable. And I agree with you. That's my prediction, and I wrote it right in the blog, that they will not kick any of them out. They will all be included in the chase, and we will just have a huge cutoff class at the end of the first round of the playoffs.
That's what I would figure if they were to amend their rules, saying if you're winning, you're in type shit. That's what I would feel they would do. Is after the first 3 rounds, it'll be a huge cutoff to 12, and then they do the 4, the 8 to 4.
I agree. I think that's the only winning scenario for them.
Yeah, they all get a chance in the playoff. They all get a chance. It's not like, I won and I didn't get in, and that's going to be a huge, huff puff. So I agree. That's what I would do if I was NASCAR.
And even beyond that, what's it going to do with the sponsors? If you're a sponsor of a car that is a winning car, and they're
going to pull out. They're not going to sponsor cars anymore.
No. They've got. I agree. They have got to include each and every person that has won a race, or their credibility goes right down the shithole.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's like you said. Every time somebody wins, hey, welcome to the chase. Welcome to the chase. Yeah. I mean, we hear it week after week after week after week. And for them to try and not include, I said, I can't. And it actually tickles me. And I wrote in my blog, I said, the funniest scenario, in my opinion, would be to see them try to not include a winner in the chase and see the backlash. Because the backlash will be heavy. It will be.
I feel NASCAR is waiting for that scenario to come about to announce what they're going to do, because it's never been happened in how many years have been doing this chase. So I think they're waiting.
Oh yes, it did. Oh heck yes, it did. Before they were doing the win you're in, and Dale Jr. didn't get in, we made the Dale Jr. ruler and expanded it from 10 to 13.
Well, I'm talking about 16 when they're doing the 16 thing.
Right.
So I'm just saying, I think they're waiting for 17 winners, if it happens, for them to announce, okay, if you win and you're in.
They're praying like hell that it don't happen, but I'm telling you.
Well,
think
races, about it.
Two spots.
We have Pocono, which anybody can win because it's that type of track. And then we got Indianapolis Road Course, which they've only raced at once. And yeah, there are road course, ringers out there, but not really this year. Then we got Michigan, which is technically a super speedway, so that one can be won. Then we got Richmond, which is, whatever. Watkins Glen, another one, and then Daytona. So there's literally 4 tracks in there that are wild cards that anybody can win. I mean, anybody can win it at all of them.
That's why I said don't discount folks like Stenhouse and McDowell.
Nope. Even Brad. Brad comes in. He's like
Keselowski could easily steal a win out of all of this.
Where's he at in the points right now? He's got to be top 30.
Oh, he's way back.
He's 29. So if he wins, he's actually technically in by parameters, by their rules.
Yep. And he'd also be the first one kicked out if they were to try and say, well, we're going by points on winners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that won't sit well with the cat in the hat.
No.
Mr. Roush.
So, no, I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Haley pulled one out because he has those moments. Even Cole Custer, he won last year. So
look at what's his face 2 weeks ago. Man, I can't think of his that was racing at Atlanta. I think it was Atlanta. Oh, crap.
Last week was Atlanta.
Almost got there.
Corey LaJoy.
Man, LaJoy, yeah.
But he's 31st, though. So he's out. But
my point is, he's got as good a shot at, say, a place like Michigan or Daytona as anybody, and Pocono for that matter.
Yeah. Like I said, I have a feeling this weekend we're going to get another first-time winner just because how different the track is, because it's 3 corners and it's very fast. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it is a very good possibility at every one of these tracks coming up, there's going to be a new winner. Last year alone, at the Indianapolis Road Course, who won it? I can't remember his name. He rides number 16.
Wasn't
AJ Allmendinger won, but he was a part-time, and he obviously, but still, it's possible. So I definitely see it happening, and it's going to be interesting how NASCAR handles it or what they do.
Well, put it in a nutshell. 1 win is not enough to make the chase. You better have 2. So, okay. We covered the fantasy league. I suck, so we're done with that. And, whoa. Did Frank click a button?
No, he's still talking. He can't hear us.
Okay. For Pocono. Who do you think's gonna win this one?
If it's not a first time winner, I'm gonna say Alex Bowman, but he's been such a huge rut. I'm gonna stick with Bowman. Like, he needs something to get out of his rut.
I'm going with Harvick.
Harvick, yeah, he's one. Denny's good here. Harvick's good here, but Harvick I think is more on a roll than Bowman. The dark horse. Even racing, there's not very much to choose from. Oh, is it 25 or behind, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna take Brad.
That's exactly who I took.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
he
the
can.
boy is going to be in the chase.
I would love for him. And I don't kind of going back to New Hampshire. I know you aren't on Twitter or his socials. That boy is going to be a fan favorite. And when he's at the track and when they're done with racing and done with his stuff, you know what he does?
No.
He gets a golf cart and goes to the campgrounds. And anybody that has, not anybody, but he goes, and just takes pictures, signs autographs. Even if it's his 2-car, he goes to the campgrounds and, is one with the fan. He's trying to get,
he's trying to get his stock back.
Yeah.
You know who used to do that all the time?
Who?
It's Clint Boyer.
Yeah.
Clint,
but Brad's
I saw
doing
him
it right
many
now,
times
and it's
saying
cool.
his 2 favorite spots in the whole world to go race were Michigan and Talladega because of the infield partying.
Yeah, I don't know if he's doing. Obviously, New Hampshire wasn't infield, so it was obviously outside the track. But yeah, they were posting videos, and it was really cool watching him sign cornhole boards, shirts, flags. It doesn't matter if it was the 6 or the 2 or the 22 for his Xfinity car he drove, but it was cool, and he's definitely getting a lot of fan support, I guess, by doing it.
He's going to be a favorite. He really is.
His cars are sharp. I love his cars. Honestly, most of his car schemes are really nice looking. So, obviously, that's not a reason, but a lot of people like how they choose drivers, his car, but his cars are sharp. So,
and they seem to be getting between him and Buescher, they seem to be getting things figured out over there.
Finally. So, like I said, I would not be surprised if he gets a win and he's in, and it'll be hell if he gets kicked out because points or whatever they do.
Well, per our previous conversation, I just don't see them doing. I can't believe they would do that. They're gonna have to. We've discussed it. If you get a win, you better be in. They're just going to make a huge cutoff class at the end of round 1 of the playoffs. That's all there is to it. All right. What's Bubba going to do? Is he going to be a top 20 or not?
I'll say no, but top 50. I'll say top 50.
All right. I'm going to say absolutely not. He will not finish the race.
I just think this is more his style because it's fast. It's just got to get used to return. I just think
tunnel turn's going to kill him again. So
I just don't know.
He's got Denny, I say an absolute yes on.
Oh yeah, 20. This is one of his. When he first started, when I remember about Denny, is Pocono was his racetrack. Always Pocono.
So, all right. Let me click through my tabs here, make sure that there's nothing we haven't covered. Again, it wasn't a wholly exciting race. There's nothing that's sticking out to me, kid. What do you got? Anything you want to
Well,
I
yeah,
know you wanna
there's
give your
one huge thing
What?
is we missed. I kind of forgot about it because the Chicago road course, street course.
No, I didn't miss it. I don't give a
Oh,
shit. I don't give a shit.
it's
I listened
news.
for an hour and a half today to uh, Larry McReynolds and I think it was Daniel Trotta.
They're all gonna hype it up because that's what their job is. They're not gonna give their honest opinion.
Wanting to tell me how much of a good thing this was because it's such a big market. Whoa.
Why would you
Wait
use
a minute.
Chicago?
What happened to Chicagoland? If this is such a big market, you got to lose Road America, which
Yep.
was a good race, to go racing around downtown Chicago. I'm sorry. It's
They should.
it's going to be interesting because it's a first time thing. I
Yeah.
get that. All right. But as far as what their arguments were,
Everything's working. I don't get it.
I just don't buy it. I just don't. To me it's going to be another LA Coliseum where you're going to get a lot of people in there the first time. They're going to buy shit. But I put to you the same damn question that I put to you about the Coliseum. How many of them fuckers are going to run down to Indianapolis, over to Michigan?
It's another point is how much money is NASCAR putting up to the city of Chicago to
That
build
was
that
another
track?
point of the discussion. NASCAR doesn't care if they lose money right now. They're sitting on, I don't know how many billions of dollars because they've sat back and stacked the cash for the last 20 years. So whenever anybody brings that, just like the Coliseum, they don't care because they've got so much money. It's all a tax write-off if they don't make anything. Like I said, I won't say that it won't be interesting to watch it, but I don't agree with the reasons. The reasons are sorry and weak at best. Because Chicago's the third biggest market as far as television in the country, behind New York and
But
LA.
not NASCAR.
Not in NASCAR.
Not in
They
NASCAR.
proved that at Chicagoland, which is less than 15 minutes outside of Chicago.
Yeah, NASCAR is not. When I think NASCAR, you think North Carolina for one. So why don't they do it?
They're looking for
Charlotte.
They're looking for the people looking out their apartment windows. Is what they're trying to do.
Well, if they're going to do the street courts, it's going to be a lot of eyes on it. So they're going to obviously word to mouth, a lot of news, whatever. So they're hoping it breeds views, which not going to work to the Coliseum.
How many people ain't going to have a choice? It's going to be right at their,
Yeah. So I feel if they wanted to do a street course, you should have did the homage to your main fan base and should have done it in Charlotte of all places.
Exactly. At least you don't got much of a chance of getting shot over there.
Yeah, that's another issue. Is if people don't know, I live 2 hours. We grew up 2 hours from Chicago. It is very heavy.
It's a war zone.
Yeah, there's a lot of what word am I looking for?
There's a lot of people getting killed.
Yes,
innocent people.
Yes, it's just not the race will be fine, but it's just, why would you put eyes on a location where it's a lot of violence is the word. There's a lot of violence, gun violence, hate crimes, a lot of crime in Chicago. Just because you don't hear it on the news, there is.
Now you're going to bring a bunch of redneck white Southern boys into there? Oh yeah, that's a great recipe. I mean, I don't know. Of course, they're not going to listen to us. They're not. Again, as a business person, I understand you've got to grow your business. You've got to expand your business. But also, as a business person, I will never understand why you leave what is working for you. That I don't understand. What the hell? I mean, I go back to right now, North Wilkesboro. They're ready. They have the state of North Carolina has spent millions of dollars to put that place back together. And it's beautiful.
I think it's
No,
because
it's not
NASCAR
going to
doesn't
hold the
own
amount
it.
of fans that they want, but they could go there once a year as homage to the sport, pay respects.
Yep.
I love the sport. I just don't like the direction that it's going. And the people that they're trying to cater to aren't going to be your diehard fans. So what? You get the first, they wanted to talk all about all the ratings they got at the Coliseum. Did we see an attendance swell at Las Vegas, Phoenix,
Montana, all of them? No.
No, it didn't work. This isn't going to work either. And what you're doing now is you're pissing off a bunch of cheeseheads by taking away Road America.
You only been there 2 years.
Yeah. Don't tell me that wasn't working. That is a great place. But all right, I'm done bitching. They're not going to listen, and that's the way it is.
That was the big announcement this week with Chicago Street. And
oh yeah.
It'll probably be a spectacle because it's the first street. And it's kind of like the Coliseum type thing, but it's Chicago. It's a street. It's not. It's you can go down there, and drive on the same streets they did, and blah blah blah. But it's not the first place. It's not the first place I would choose for a street race. There's other ones. There, like I said, Charlotte would be the first top I would do, and then Miami, what I would do, or there's other places besides Chicago. Chicago, I don't. When you think NASCAR, you don't think Chicago. Chicago is it was the Bulls, and then not, and then right, kind of or the Bears, or Cubs or White Sox. There's no NASCAR there. Who grew up near the Chicago area that is a NASCAR driver? Closest person's Ryan Newman in South Bend.
Yeah.
And that's 2 hours away.
I don't know. I guess it's their money and they have the right to piss it away as they see fit.
Obviously I think it's gonna pull views because it's a first street race, but I just don't know how well it's gonna go for racing, and it's obviously gonna be propped up by barriers and what happens in car wrecks, and how long it's gonna take to fix it, and this is gonna be a whole new learning curve for the whole spiel of NASCAR. So guess we'll find out. A 4th of July weekend, that's another fucked up one. It's 4th of July weekend.
Did you see the Daytona, I think it was the Daytona City Council basically told NASCAR they do not want them back for any holiday weekend anymore because they're doing just fine without them. They're pissed.
Oh yeah, you took Daytona, which is every year Daytona was 4th of July. Growing up, it's all it was when it's the Daytona night race. Now you're taking it away from them?
Yeah. I don't know for sure if it was some kind of resolution or whatever the city council did, but they're telling NASCAR, we're happy you're not here now because now our normal residents can have a holiday weekend without you idiots here.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
They're just, every time they turn around, it seems like they're shooting themselves in the foot. As far as us diehard NASCAR fans go, but whatever. Yeah. I'm done whining. They're not going to change because of me.
No, it's just one of those things. It's just, I'm open to the idea, but Chicago street, shit, 4th of July weekends probably won't even go because it's 4th of July weekend. But like I said, I live near it.
Will I watch it? Oh, yeah. I'll watch it. And then I'm going to bitch about it afterwards, probably.
Yeah.
Especially if something bad happens.
Yeah. That's
on a holiday weekend in the middle of July in Chicago? Are you kidding me? And somebody gets, whacked out on crack or meth or whatever and gets irritated with the noise going under his window for the 3 hours?
Oh yeah, there'll be the weekend with qualifying practice, and it's just gonna.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what to expect. I don't like the idea.
I don't either, but it is what it is. All right, let's wrap this up. Put your spiel in, and we'll sign off.
Okay. For YouTube viewers, obviously you can see, got the new overlay fixed. When we started talking Pocono, I swapped to their logo and track. If you don't know, below is the finishing order for New Hampshire. Right below the webcams. On the other side is the actual NASCAR Cup standings. You can obviously see everything. All the info's there. For the audio, people listening to the audio, we're on search YouTube. Burn It Down podcast will be the first thing that pops up. And if people want to watch this on the go, we're on pretty much every major podcast platform. For audio, it's rss.com, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Samsung Podcasts, Pandora, and Google Podcasts. All you got to do is search Burn It Down Podcast under their search tab or podcast tab. Will pop up. Just Google Burn It Down NASCAR Podcast. Boom. Literally be the first thing you see. Other than that, that's it. There's not much news.
All right.
Just had our thing.
I will give one little plug. Go to NASCAR-nation.com. I've got a new blog up there right now. You can check it out on our Facebook page, Burn It Down Podcast, and you can also check it out on NASCAR Only on Facebook. So check it out, see what you think, leave a comment, have a discussion. And with that,
before I go, there was a guy who commented on the last podcast about Kevin Harvick, because we're talking about we think he's going to win soon, and he goes, well, Kevin Harvick, what'd he say? Has he even led a lap yet? I thought it was funny. And I said, that's a good question, but yeah, no, I get it, but someone's commenting, so.
Yeah.
Not a bot, it's actually somebody listening to the conversations we're having and commenting on it, so good, I like it. So I just want to kind of give a, thing on it.
A shout out.
Yeah. Like I said, join the NASCAR Fantasy League. To search NASCAR Live, Burn It Down NASCAR podcast, and it'll be the first one. Join it.
On NASCAR.com.
NASCAR.com, yeah. Search NASCAR Live, then go from there.
All right.
Other than that, yeah. See you next Pocono.
Next week, post Pocono. Hopefully we got some more exciting stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Thanks, everybody.